Chapter 21. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The family doctor came quickly. This was a middle-aged man in a suit with an elegant face. He hurried over with a medicine box, and quickly instructed everyone to let Du Sihui lie on the sofa, and then measured her temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, etc., and finally made a quick judgment. Madam, this is a headache caused by high blood pressure due to emotional excitement. The middle-aged doctor said, take half a tablet of antihypertensive medicine later, and take some ibuprofen for headaches. If you are really worried, you can go to the hospital for a detailed examination. Oh my God! Wei Xing deliberately exclaimed, Brother, how can you make mother angry and have a headache? Isn't this too unfilial? No. The middle-aged doctor quickly retorted, Madam has had a headache for more than 10 years, accompanied by severe pain, insomnia, and even occasional convulsions and vomiting. She had been tortured before, so she is not angry now. Yes, yes, yes. Wei Jiaoyang immediately patted his head and agreed. She went to many hospitals for examinations before, but it was useless. In the end, I don't know how she got better. It was the young master who used traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, massage and medicinal diet to treat her. The middle-aged doctor looked at Wei Hong with admiration and explained, after the old man passed away 3 years ago, he began to take care of the lady's body. It has been more than 2 years since the lady had a relapse, right? Now everyone's faces were full of strange and complicated scenes flashed through Du Sihui's mind. Many things Wei Hong had done for her, which she thought were just some trivial things, not as sweet as Wei Xing's words that made people feel comfortable, but now think about it, all this is really not easy. Think about how cold she was to him over the years. After Wei Xing came in, he beat and scolded him, and she couldn't help but feel guilty. Is it really as Ji Mingxian said? Did she mistake fish eyes for pearls? Love the wrong son? Master Hong, why don't you give it a try? The middle-aged doctor said, give Madam an acupuncture and massage, it should be relieved soon. She may need more recuperation recently. I don't have a medical license. Wei Hong shook the red wine glass carelessly and sneered, you should send her to the hospital. The Wei family can afford the medical expenses. Besides, she has her favorite adopted son. Is it my turn to help? Little beast. Wei Jiaoyang cursed angrily, she is your biological mother. Who can watch her biological mother suffer? Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning? Where is your conscience? How much is conscience worth per pound? Wei Hong curled his lips disdainfully, you still want me to work like a cow and a horse for you for free? You are dreaming. You. Wei Jiaoyang was furious again. Wei Xing quickly held him back and said in a gentle voice, Dad, don't quarrel with big brother. What if you get angry and sick? If you fall down, our family will be broken up. Okay. Wei Jiaoyang said while relieving himself, gritting his teeth, luckily, I have such a good son like you. If I rely on certain people, I'm afraid I will be angry to death sooner or later. Idiot. Wei Hong was too lazy to listen to their PUA anymore. He drank the wine in one gulp, put down the cup and turned to go upstairs. Xiao Hong. Du Sihui raised her hand unwillingly and opened her mouth, but in the end, she didn't have the nerve to beg him for help. It wasn't until the effect of ibuprofen slowly took effect that her headache was relieved a lot. She glanced coldly at Wei Xing, who could only move his mouth, and she felt regret for the first time in her heart. I still remember that year. When Wei Hong was 14 years old, he saw her having a headache for the first time. He felt distressed and busy. Compared to Wei Xing, he is much stronger. This guy can only talk. He was worried and anxious, but he didn't even pour a glass of water. Why was he so obsessed? He thought that this kind of person would be better than his own son. Mom, what's wrong with you? Wei Xing noticed the bad look in her eyes, and hurried forward to offer his courtesy. Do you want to go to the hospital now? I'll ask the driver to prepare the car. No need. Du Sihui waved her hand and said impatiently, it's an old problem, just take a rest. Let me give you a massage. Wei Xing continued to smile, and at the same time, he kept saying in his heart, "Woo, woo, woo, it hurts to see Mom so uncomfortable, but it's a pity that I don't know massage or acupuncture, I'm so stupid. Damn it, how can Big Brother watch Mom suffer? No, I'll go find some more medical books later, and I'll find a way to make Mom feel better no matter what." Du Sihui's expression eased a little. She sighed, blaming Wei Hong for his cruelty, but also feeling a little relieved for Wei Xing's understanding. At the same time, she comforted herself that her adopted son might just be a little careless, but he still had a good heart. At night, Wei Hong walked out of the bathroom, wiping his hair. The phone started to ring at this time. When he picked it up, he saw that the number of messages was already 99 plus. Various rich second-generation friends who had a normal relationship with him on weekdays sent private chat invitations, all of which were good places for clubs, bars and young models. Wei Hong is also a normal man, so he naturally likes this kind of place. But he has strong self-control. How can he be qualified to indulge in women when he has not yet avenged his great revenge? Moreover, he had just had a conflict with Ji Mingxian and Xie Zhijiang. He only felt safe when he went out with 12 bodyguards. It was not a wise choice to go to a place where good and bad people were mixed. Therefore, he directly declined all invitations. However, an invitation from Ji Peng made him a little interested. This kid sent a picture of a yacht surrounded by beautiful women, and attached 2 words, "Come." Wei Hong knew that he was asking for peace. Ji Peng has been a very arrogant person since he was a child. He dares to love and hate, and is straightforward and hot-tempered. When he wants to bow his head and give in, he can't lose face, so he often hands over a step and waits for others to go downhill. If he had faced his peace in the past, Wei Hong must have long forgotten all the grudges and went to the appointment excitedly. The 2 brothers would immediately restore their previous friendship after a few drinks, but today he didn't want to pay attention to the other party, and even decisively chose to block him. You have a hot temper and no judgment. Such a person is also a drag as a brother. In addition to the grudges and entanglements in the previous life, I am the greatest kindness not to retaliate against you. Take care of yourself. Wei Hong sighed and turned to check other information. Soon he found Xia Mo and Xia Cici's circle of friends. The 2 women, without any prior agreement, each sent a few poisonous chicken soup sentences to ridicule him. Xia Cici, as a person, it is better to be kind, otherwise when the night is quiet, aren't you afraid of being condemned by your conscience? Xia Mo, money is like dirt to me. I only want to pursue the dream of the stars and the warm friendship, and will never succumb to the oppression of power. That among a lot of likes, many licking dogs left comments below to flatter. Wei Hong sneered and blocked them both. Want to brainwash him with some poisonous chicken soup? What are you dreaming of? Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Under the night that a 3-story luxury yacht floats on the inner river of the city. Ji Peng and other young men indulged in pleasure in the cabin, surrounded by beautiful women, and various music DJs kept jubilant, showing the extravagance of the upper class. But today, Ji Peng was not in a good mood. The wounds on his head and face had been simply bandaged, and he looked as ugly as a mummy. He stared at the chat interface for a long time without saying a word. Brother Ji, what are you doing? A yellow-haired rich second generation sat down next to him and asked curiously, Hey, isn't this the WeChat of young Master Wei? You 2 just broke up today, and you took the initiative to find him. Damn, that a trace of embarrassment flashed across Ji Peng's face. With his temperament, even if he knew he was wrong, he would not give in so quickly, but who let the elders at home put pressure on him? He had to bow his head. 3rd uncle, 2nd uncle, my dad, and even the old man came to talk to me personally. Ji Peng sighed with a stinky face. They said that Wei Hong is not a simple person, and asked me not to offend him easily, and it would be best to make peace with him. Alas! How dare I not listen? TSK. The yellow-haired rich second generation sneered. Wei Hong is not liked by Director Wei now, and it is not certain whether he can inherit the family business in the end. As for fawning on him, I don't like this kind of deep-minded villain either. Ji Peng took a sip of wine, then squinted and cursed. I grew up with him since childhood. This bastard is so noble every day, which is really annoying. If Shaoxing hadn't told me, I wouldn't know that this bastard has been plotting against me behind my back. Forget it, since the elders at home asked, just give face and maintain the superficial relationship. After that, Ji Peng was about to send an address to Wei Hong on WeChat. This is the second time he bowed his head and surrendered today, regardless of whether the other party agreed or not, he had explained to the elders at home, but the next moment, Ji Peng was stunned. Because the message he sent showed a red exclamation mark. Fuck, he actually blocked me. Ji Peng was so angry that his heart kept rising and falling. He smashed the wine glass in his hand to the ground with a crash. The sound of the shattering scared the beauties to scream and exclaim, and the people around also looked over. Brother Ji, what happened? Why are you so angry? Who provoked you? Oh my, Brother Ji is so angry, that the young men asked one after another. Ji Peng didn't want to say anything more. He gasped with red eyes, a feeling of betrayal and inexplicable anger rose in his heart, although he kept saying that he looked down on Wei Hong. But the two grew up together, and the relationship was inevitably complicated. He has been arrogant and difficult to tame since he was a child. No matter what he gets angry about or what mistakes he makes, Wei Hong will choose to tolerate and forgive him as long as he gives him a little step, and he has always relied on this tolerance to make mistakes. Sometimes the two are brothers, and sometimes they are enemies. But it is the first time that he has been blocked like today. Ji Peng knows Wei Hong's character too well. He doesn't really care about anything, but once he decides to block someone, it means that he wants to stay away from the other person completely. This is a sign of breaking up. How dare he? Fuck. Ji Peng's anger rose in his heart, and he gritted his teeth and muttered, I don't care about him hurting people, and I took the initiative to surrender and bow my head. Why does he block me? Block? Xia Sisi exclaimed on the side. After she figured out what happened, she immediately realized that something was wrong. She picked up her phone and sent a WeChat message to Wei Hong, but a glaring exclamation mark immediately appeared. She was also blocked. Damn it, how dare he? Xia Sisi was also shocked and aggrieved. She and Wei Hong were childhood sweethearts, and they had been flirting with each other for many years. I thought it was just a normal conflict, and they could get back together if they both took a step back. Xia Sisi had even made up her mind that when Wei Hong came back to coax her, she would leave him alone for a few days, so that he would reflect deeply on his mistakes before being forgiven. But who would have thought that she would also be blocked? Once upon a time. No matter how outrageous the things she did, or how many times she had teased him, no matter how fierce the quarrels between the two sides were, they all ended with Wei Hong giving in. But now, she was actually blocked. Impossible, why did he block me? Xia Sisi grabbed her bag angrily and prepared to go to the Wei family to ask for an explanation. Ji Peng sighed and stopped her. Don't go, they have decided to completely break up with us, they won't change their minds, don't go and humiliate yourself. Xia Sisi was stunned for a long time. Her mood was suddenly a mess. They grew up together, they were as close as a family a few months ago, they played and made a lot of noise together all day, but how did it change so suddenly? It seemed that all this started when Wei Xing entered this circle, late at night. Du Sihui lay on the big bed in the master bedroom on the right side of the third floor of the villa, tossing and turning and unable to fall asleep. Wei Jiaoyang had been snoring loudly beside her, but her head felt like it was pierced by needles. No matter how many painkillers she swallowed, it was useless and she could not fall asleep smoothly. This reminded her of a few years ago, when her headache was the worst. She could not sleep all night. At that time, Wei Hong was anxious and distressed, and he treated her with acupuncture and boiled medicine. Various memories swept in the middle of the night, as if a sharp knife pierced her heart. Du Sihui was extremely ashamed and blamed herself, and she wanted to slap herself a few times. How could she bear to treat such a good son harshly? No, I have to talk to Xiao Hong and make it clear. I have let him down these days, but how can a mother and son hold grudges overnight? I will not be partial to Shaoxing anymore in the future, and he will definitely forgive me. Xiao Hong is a good child, he will not ignore his mother, no. Du Sihui struggled to get up, wearing silk pajamas and cotton slippers. She stumbled and pushed open the door with a pale face, and the guilt made her want to get her son's forgiveness immediately. The villa was quiet late at night. All the daughters were angry and did not go home to live. Du Sihue was a little uneasy, but she finally cheered herself up and said, "How can a family hold grudges overnight? At most, I can take the initiative to give him a way out. When the misunderstanding is resolved, I will definitely compensate him tenfold and 100-fold. After that, she moved to the second floor with difficulty. But as soon as she walked to the corridor on the second floor, the two bodyguards on duty looked at her coldly. "Madam, stop." The bodyguard reminded, "The young master doesn't like outsiders to set foot on the second floor." Outsiders? Du Sihue was a little sad. She took a deep breath and said, "Let Wei Hong come out for a while and tell him that I feel uncomfortable. The young master is resting, no one is allowed to disturb him." The bodyguard replied coldly, "Especially you, madam, the young master specifically told me to go to the hospital when he gets sick, and don't bother him even if he dies." What? Du Sihue felt like she was struck by lightning and felt dizzy. At this moment, she realized that Wei Hong was not being upset at all, nor was he angry, he really wanted to break up. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. September 17th. On the top floor of the Wei Group headquarters building. In the executive president's office, Wei Linlang was busy in the office. The female secretary pushed the door open and brought a large stack of documents. "President, there is still half an hour before the board meeting at 10:30. The female secretary took out a document, handed it over and said, "This is the re-examined financial report for the third quarter of this year. Under your leadership, the group's annual profit growth this quarter reached 7%, the debt ratio decreased by 3 percentage points, and bad debts decreased by 5%. Well, not bad." Wei Linlang took the detailed report and looked at it, and finally raised the corner of her mouth silently. This report can be said to be of high quality in any group. It can not only reflect her strength, but also shut up the shareholders. The board meeting this quarter should be smooth. What about the project that was just finalized these 2 days? Has it been promoted? Wei Linlang asked casually. The initial progress has been completed. The female secretary took out a few documents again and handed them over, saying, "This time you approved a total of 5 projects, including the investment of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals, with a total expenditure of 2.8 billion yuan, and the estimated annual return on investment is about 6% to 8%. Now the contracts for the 5 projects have all been signed, and a special team has been sent to supervise and promote them. If everything goes well, they will bring a big surprise to our group in the fourth quarter of this year." Wei Linlang simply flipped through them and nodded with satisfaction again. In the past, every project she promoted was personally checked by Wei Hong. The final results are all self-evident, either stable profits or huge profits, so she has long been accustomed to the concept of making money easily. Even if Wei Hong didn't check it personally this time, she didn't think there would be any accidents. Have all the directors arrived? Wei Linlang stood up and adjusted his high-end suit, and said seriously, "The chairman is injured and asked for leave. This is my first time to preside over the quarterly meeting of the board of directors. There must be no mistakes. The directors have arrived one after another. We have checked it many times from top to bottom. There will be no problems." The female secretary replied. Wei Linlang was about to say something. The door was pushed open with a bang, and a male secretary with gold-rimmed glasses rushed in, saying anxiously, "President, it's bad. Something happened to Tingxing Pharmaceuticals. Why are you so flustered?" Wei Linlang's brain didn't react, and he subconsciously scolded, "What does the accident of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals have to do with us?" "Wait." The female secretary reminded on the side, "President, we just signed a share investment agreement with Tingxing Pharmaceuticals." "What?" Wei Linlang was shocked. He found the investment documents on the desk. He carefully checked for a long time before confirming that he really approved the investment. Unexpectedly, a big mess happened for the first time without Wei Hong's help. Her heart sank to the bottom of the valley, frowned and asked coldly, "What happened to Tingxing Pharmaceuticals?" At 4 o'clock last night in the morning, Li Teng, chairman of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals, jumped to his death at the Vienna hotel in the city. The male secretary handed over a tablet computer, pointed to the news on it and said, "The police have confirmed the identity of the deceased, and local TV stations and media have also reported it." At 10 o'clock in the morning, the news spread, and Tingxing Pharmaceuticals plummeted in the A-share market, and it has now completely hit the limit. Their group's public relations department has not yet made any public statement, but according to gossip, Chairman Li's current wife, Ms. Lu Xilai, is ready to take over and stabilize the group's situation. Wei Linlang took out her mobile phone with an ugly face. Soon, she saw the green limit board of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals. Yesterday, she signed an agreement with Tingxing Pharmaceuticals to acquire 15% of the other party's shares for 1 billion yuan. Today, something happened and the shares plummeted. This is simply a bad start, and she lost hundreds of millions in one go. Has the money been transferred? Wei Linlang frowned and asked. Not yet. The female secretary replied, but the contract stipulates that whichever party breaches the contract will bear 3 times the liquidated damages, so we actually already own the shares of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals, and we have no choice but to transfer the money. Bad luck. Wei Linlang was so angry that she smashed her phone to the ground. Although the investment of 1 billion yuan is not much, Tingxing Pharmaceuticals will definitely continue to fall to the limit in the future. In the absence of any measures to save it, it is very likely to suffer heavy losses. The financial statements will be very ugly at that time. An investment in Tingxing Pharmaceuticals is enough to wipe out her efforts for several months. President, this is Ms. Lu Xilai's information. The male secretary swiped on the tablet, and an information sheet popped up. She is 36 years old this year, graduated from the Department of Finance of Peking University and Tsinghua University, and has been in the group management since she married Chairman Li. Management, currently serving as vice president, has a high reputation in the group. Chairman Li is in trouble this time, and there are rumors that she is going to take over the position of acting chairman. The industry has a very high evaluation of her, and our investment may not lose money. Wei Linlang's eyes lit up. A panicked heart quickly settled down, and at the same time, greed arose in her heart. If someone can stabilize the share price of Tingxing Group, her investment will not only not lose money, but she can take advantage of the panic of shareholders to buy the bottom and make a lot of money. You too, immediately make a detailed investigation report on Lu Xilai, and at the same time prepare a feasibility report on additional investment in Tingxing Group and buying the bottom of the stock price. In addition, notify the board of directors to postpone for half an hour. The report I want must be submitted before then, otherwise you all pack up and leave, do you understand? Wei Linlang gave the order in an orderly manner. The 2 secretaries agreed and quickly went down to do it. She curled her lip slightly to reveal a hint of ambition, and murmured, "Others are afraid of me, but I am greedy. Others are greedy, but I am afraid. This is a good opportunity to use it to thoroughly prove my strength." Green Shade Golf Course. Su Maogong swung his club to entertain himself while listening to the report of a middle-aged man in a suit. This is the situation. Li Teng was confirmed dead last night. The police have determined that it was suicide. The middle-aged man in a suit reported, "Currently, the shares of Tingxing Pharmaceutical have plummeted. Should we get out as soon as possible?" Su Maogong did not answer immediately, but was silent for a long time. "I watched Wei Hong grow up, but now I can't see through this child more and more. How did he predict that Li Ting would die? He seemed to be shrouded in a layer of fog, making it hard to figure out. But this is always a good thing." Su Maogong murmured in his heart, "The disciple is better than the master. The old man's years of training have not been in vain. The young master has a bright future." He smiled with relief, thought for a while and said, "Everything is going according to plan. Just swallow 300 million, don't add unnecessary things, and keep a low profile when buying at the bottom, so as not to alarm any outsiders." Understood. The middle-aged man in a suit nodded in agreement. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the next few days, Jiangzhou City's business community was in turmoil. Li Teng, chairman of Tingxing Group, jumped to his death. A group with a value of nearly 8 billion yuan fell into a power grab crisis and a stock market crisis. Shareholders, led by Wei Group, were in a panic. Some people took the opportunity to buy at the bottom, while others cashed out and ran away. Wei Hong was too lazy to pay attention to these disturbances. He went to school every day as usual. Su Maogong had many talented people under him, and he didn't need to worry about the small business of buying at the bottom with 300 million yuan, but at the Wei family's dining table. Wei Jiaoyang asked about this matter. Wei Linlang said casually and nonchalantly, "Dad, I did invest in Tingshan Group, but who would have thought that Li Ting would jump off the building and commit suicide just after signing the contract? No one could have predicted such a thing. I was fooled by him. But his widow Lu Shilai is a capable person. As far as I know, she will soon take over the position of chairman to reorganize the stock price. The stock price will rebound. We can make a lot of money if we buy at the bottom now." Wei Jiaoyang didn't say much after hearing this. Over the years, he has always only controlled the general direction. The specific investment and operation details are all controlled by Wei Linlang. In fact, it was the project plan made by Wei Hong that made Wei's group profitable. In a word, Wei Jiaoyang and Wei Linlang are actually good-for-nothings. The two of them are the same. They didn't inherit the business talent of Mr. Wei at all. It's not easy to barely keep the family business. How can they see the twists and turns in it? Wei Hong sneered and was too lazy to speak. They have fallen into the trap and still don't know it. What a fool. What are you laughing at? Wei Linlang snorted in dissatisfaction. Do you understand such a big business as the group? A high school student should study hard and don't care about adults' affairs. What's the point of laughing at all the time? Linlang, shut up. Du Sihui frowned and scolded. How do you talk to your brother? Mom, did I say something wrong? Wei Linlang was extremely irritated. Anyway, don't talk like that. Du Sihui scolded carefully. Family members should not be sarcastic all the time. You are the eldest sister and should act like an eldest sister. You should learn to care for your younger brother. Wei Hong was too lazy to pay attention to such tricks. What were you doing before? You are only teaching your daughter now. Since Du Sihui had a headache, she has realized his importance. She wanted to ease the relationship several times because of guilt, and occasionally she would cook soup in person to please him. If it were before, Wei Hong would definitely be very moved. I wish I could take out my heart to repay this little bit of maternal love, but now he turned a blind eye. Even though Du Sihui defended herself at the table, he was not moved at all, only endless indifference. Belated affection is cheaper than grass, and so is family affection. At noon, Shengrui High School, Wei Hong appeared in the cafeteria with two female bodyguards. The two of them were wearing casual clothes and ponytails, looking like young and beautiful seniors. They were very suitable for close protection in school, and occasionally little fans would come around and be easily blocked. The school cafeteria has 2 floors. The first floor is where ordinary students eat. The dishes are good and the prices are affordable. Poor students can also get food subsidies. The second floor is where the rich second generation eat. Not only are there luxurious private rooms, but you can also order at will. It is even more luxurious than a hotel. In aristocratic schools, most students are middle class and rich. Therefore, the second floor of the cafeteria is more lively than the first floor. The hall on the first floor is deserted, with only 100 or 200 poor students eating. Wei Hong was too lazy to join the fun on the second floor, so he found a place to sit down casually and told the female bodyguard, "Just eat something, we are in a hurry." Okay, a female bodyguard nodded and agreed, and immediately went to get food. The other one still stood beside him, looking around vigilantly. Wei Hong ignored the surprised looks from the students around him, and just glanced casually, and saw Xia Mo, who was working part-time at the cafeteria window. She was wearing an apron and a cook's hat, her face was pale and pitiful, and she was working hard to get food and vegetables for the students. Every move made the male students around her feel distressed. Bad luck. Wei Hong didn't expect to meet her here. He immediately withdrew his eyes in disgust and stopped looking at her, but Xia Mo soon noticed this place, and her eyes suddenly lit up. Seeing his figure from a distance, the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curl up. Isn't this Senior Wei Hong? The fat girl who was also working part-time said in surprise, Momo, I heard that you have a close relationship with Senior, and you are his beloved white moonlight, right? He is here to find you, why don't you go? Don't say that. Xia Mo blushed, and then snorted stubbornly, "It has nothing to do with him anymore, don't talk nonsense." How is it nothing to do with him? Hasn't he been supporting you and even given you a secondary card? You don't know yet, his card has been suspended for a long time. Momo treated us to a meal at the milk tea shop a few days ago and lost face. Hehe, what by Yueguang, it's embarrassing. Several female classmates who didn't like her started to criticize her. Xia Mo's face turned pale, and her eyes couldn't help but look aggrieved again. She looked like she was about to cry, which instantly made the boys around her feel distressed. She looked at Wei Hong with a resentful look, as if she was condemning, and as if she was complaining. The incident in the milk tea shop a few days ago not only made her lose face, but Wei Hong also stopped her card and stopped funding, which made the Xia family, who had long been accustomed to eating and waiting to die, feel very uncomfortable. Xia's father even beat her up at any time. In order to make a living, Xia Mo had to work part-time again. Now that her situation was exposed in front of her, her pretty face was almost embarrassed. Don't say that. The fat girl was indignant and stood up for her. It must be that Senior Wei Hong wanted to force Momo to be his girlfriend. Momo refused to agree, so he stopped the card. Now he is here again and takes the initiative to find her to make peace, right? Yes, it is very likely. As long as you give in, Senior will still spoil you. That's right, Momo is so beautiful, no matter what, you can't make up anything at will, just hook your finger and Senior Wei Hong will lose his soul. If you ask me, this kind of man can't be spoiled. Momo, you must not take the initiative to bow your head, you must let him coax you more. That the unaware people whispered. They had already automatically imagined the love and hatred between the two young lovers. Xia Mo's face immediately looked much better. Not only did she not take the initiative to explain, instead, she gradually became proud in her heart, subconsciously thinking that Wei Hong came to find her. Humph, you want me to succumb to money? No way. Xia Mo's pretty face was full of stubbornness, and she deliberately raised her voice and said, some people don't think they can insult others just because they have a few bucks. Our personalities are all equal. For a moment, the male classmates around her showed admiration. Damn, you're crazy. The cafeteria is a place to eat, why are you doing this? Wei Hong felt as disgusted as if he had eaten a fly. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A meal. Wei Hong's meal tasted like chewing wax. He just wanted to have a quiet meal, but Xia Mo appeared around him from time to time, wiping the table and cleaning the dishes, sweeping the floor and mopping the floor, trying hard to create the image of a poor and tough little white flower in front of him. If it was in the previous life, Wei Hong would definitely be deceived by this illusion. He believed that she was a good girl who was poor but insisted on working hard, but in his new life, he had already seen through people's hearts and turned into a top bitch expert. He could tell at a glance that this woman had impure thoughts and was just a person who was seeking fame and reputation. You should work hard to earn money. Why do you always run to me? Every time Wei Hong looked up, she would pretend to be noble, stubborn, and not bend to money, and would raise her hand from time to time to wipe the sweat from her forehead, which was really annoying. Master, do you want me to ask her to leave? A female bodyguard saw his impatience and glanced coldly at Xia Mo, who was pretending to work not far away. She looked like I was very busy and hard-working, so please don't look down on me. The female bodyguard couldn't help but want to beat her up. Don't pay attention to these flies, just finish your meal and leave. The more you pay attention to this bitch, the more she will have inner dramas. She may even act out a sad drama on the spot, hinting that I want to rob her. Wei Hong grumbled while speeding up his eating. The two female bodyguards chuckled and agreed with this. They can teach and stop all offending enemies, but if a girl hits the porcelain in public, they don't know what to do, so it's better to deal with it coldly. Wei Hong suddenly saw someone, a boy with a mushroom head, a simple and honest face, and black-framed glasses. Sitting in the corner eating white rice and vegetarian dishes, he looked particularly quiet and thin. His name is Song Gui, the illegitimate son of a certain master in Yanjing who was stranded outside. The reason why Wei Hong agreed to teacher Liang to join the competition class and guide the students in the class to study was actually to get to know him. In his previous life, Song Gui was poor, tenacious and unyielding. He lived with his seriously ill mother, attending classes during the day and working at night. He only ate 2 meals a day to fill his stomach, but still got excellent grades and was admitted to Tsinghua University and Peking University. At that time, Xiaomo used Wei Hong's black card to do good things everywhere. Not only did she treat him to meals for a long time, but she also lent money to his mother for surgery, so she became the only light in Song Gui's bleak youth. After going to college, he was found by a big guy and recognized as his ancestor. From then on, a poor student became the top second-generation rich in the Beijing circle. His identity and class changed dramatically. Everyone had to respectfully call him Song Shao when they saw him. I don't know how many people wanted to curry favor with him, but Song Gui still didn't forget the favor from their childhood. He became Xiaomo's big backer who could do whatever she wanted. He pushed this ordinary little white flower to a height that didn't belong to her. After rebirth, how could Wei Hong let Xiaomo take his money to make such top connections, and finally come back to deal with him? Wouldn't it be better to sell this big favor himself? Thinking of this, he decisively picked up his plate and stood up to walk toward Song Gui. Seeing this, the 2 female bodyguards also quickly put down their bowls and chopsticks and followed quickly. When the 3 of them moved, most of the cafeteria's attention was attracted. Xiaomo subconsciously thought that Wei Hong was looking for her. The hand that was wiping the table paused slightly, and the corners of her mouth were even harder to suppress than AK, but she quickly adjusted her expression and made a gesture of "I don't want to care about you." "Hey, I knew you would be unable to hold back and want to beg for mercy. But I'm not so easy to coax. If I don't apologize to Brother Shaoxing, this matter will not end." Xiaomo muttered in her heart. At the same time, she had already thought about how to continue to lure Wei Hong. Make him uncomfortable, make him love but not get it, and make him feel anxious as a punishment. But the next moment she was stunned on the spot. Others who wanted to see Wei Deshao chasing his wife to the crematorium and pulling in tug-of-war with Xiaomo to perform a deep and sadistic love were all black lines on their heads, because Wei Hong didn't even look at him. He directly passed Xiaomo who was working. He sat down opposite Song Gui. Wei Shao." Song Gui was startled and quickly stood up and said timidly, "You want to sit here? I'll leave right away, please wait." "No need to change, I'll find you." Wei Hong got straight to the point and directly put his chicken legs and meat dishes into his plate. "Wei Shao, what are you doing?" Song Gui was stunned. Subconsciously, he thought that the other party wanted to humiliate him. After all, poor students like him were at the bottom of the school, and anyone could step on them. Things like being forced to eat leftovers had happened before. But soon Song Gui realized that something was wrong. These meals were clean and hygienic, and there was no need for them to humiliate him like this. "Eat, it's clean." Wei Hong raised his hand to signal him to sit down, then smiled and said, "I see you only eat rice and vegetables, and you consume brain cells by calculating physics problems every day. How can you not have adequate nutrition? Eat mine." No. Song Gui's face flushed, and he stammered, "Mr. Wei, don't be so polite, I have enough to eat." "Eat." Wei Hong's attitude was tough, and he finally stopped refusing. After biting off a fragrant chicken leg, Song Gui's eyes were covered with a layer of mist. He was not a good talker, so he just lowered his head and ate silently, carefully recorded this light that may illuminate his life. Xiaomo stared at this scene in a daze, her nails almost pinching into her palm. Who would have thought that Wei Hong didn't want to play the love tug-of-war game at all, and would rather find a man than go to her? "I have investigated you," Wei Hong said casually while eating. "You are from a single-parent family, your mother is seriously ill, it is not easy for you to carry the burden of the family alone, and you are also among the best in study, and you get scholarships every year. As a man, you are very admirable. Better than me, Wei Hong said the last sentence very seriously. Every word was full of sincerity, which hit Song Gui's heart at once. I am not as good as you, Wei Xiao. Song Gui blushed and lowered his head to hide his tears. No, you are indeed better than me. Wei Hong chuckled and sighed. If I didn't have a good family background, I would probably be inferior to you in every way, so classmate Song, are you willing to accept my financial support? Funding. Song Gui looked up in shock. How could I have thought that someone would take the initiative to give money to his door? Yes. Wei Hong nodded and said sincerely, my grandfather has been committed to public welfare for decades since he founded the Wei Group. I don't know how many lonely elderly people and poor students he has helped. I was inspired by him and do charity every year. From now on, I can bear all your tuition and living expenses, including your mother's medical expenses, and even invite the top experts to perform surgery for her. Song Gui took a breath when he heard it. Not only was he not surprised, but he seemed uneasy. Mr. Wei. Song Gui asked timidly, what do you want? I have nothing worth plotting, and I dare not do anything illegal or criminal. Why don't you find someone else? Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone knows that there is no free lunch in the world. Wei Hong proposed such good funding conditions. Who would believe that he had no ulterior motives? Song Gui was not happy at all under his caution, but was panicked. He was afraid that he would force him to do something illegal or criminal. Ha! Wei Hong chuckled, took out a black card and pushed it over, saying, don't think too much, I won't force you to do anything, all the efforts are just investments, understand? Investment? Song Gui was stunned. That's right. Wei Hong nodded and said sincerely, a person always has his value. Investing in poverty and waiting for the other party to climb out of the quagmire can get the greatest benefits. This is one of the means for the upper class to ensure their wealth and status. My grandfather has been committed to public welfare for decades. I don't know how many poor students have entered the Wei Group after graduation and repaid him with their lifelong energy and loyalty. It can be said that they have gained both reputation and benefits. And you, Song Gui, are hard-working, intelligent, have excellent character, and are filial to your parents. You are the best candidate for investment. A few words. Most of the vigilance in Song Gui's eyes disappeared. He asked cautiously, Mr. Wei, what do you want to get in the end by investing in me? It doesn't matter. Wei Hong shook his head indifferently. Supporting your study and living, plus your mother's medical expenses, will not exceed 2 million at most. This amount of money is a huge sum for ordinary people, but it is a drop in the bucket for me. So I haven't figured out what I want to get in return from you, and I won't force you to work for me after graduation. Even if the 2 million is wasted, it won't affect me at all. If you succeed and remember my kindness, then the 2 million may be exchanged for 100 or 1,000 times the profit. Would you refuse such a good investment? Song Gui opened his mouth and couldn't refute. Sincerity is always a killer move. All the doubts and precautions in his heart seemed fragile and ridiculous at this moment. This is my supplementary black card. Wei Hong pointed at the dining table and said, use it to pay your mother's medical expenses in the future. You can buy whatever you want yourself. In addition, I will have someone deposit 10,000 living expenses into your card every month. No, don't give so much. Song Gui stammered again, Mr. Wei, I am very grateful for your support, but there is no need to give too much. It's enough for me to spend. 1,000 a month, no, 500 is enough. What can 500 be enough for? Wei Hong took the black card and stuffed it into his pocket, saying seriously, you can study better if you eat and drink well. If you collapse during high-intensity study, who will take care of your mother? The black card has unlimited use. At most, just think of it as a loan from me and pay it back to me later. There is no need for men to be so hesitant. You must understand that favors require give and take. If you lend me 500 yuan, you owe me a favor. If you lend me 5 million, it is also a favor. Why not use it boldly? Song Gui was moved. Finally, he stood up and bowed deeply. This scene made all the classmates envious and jealous. Oh my God, Master Wei is so generous. He gave me a black card. If Senior Song Gui wasn't a man, I would have suspected that he wanted to seduce her. Didn't I say that? Rich people like to invest. You know nothing. 666, I heard that Xia Mo also got a black card from Master Wei. Is this the second one? Oh, who said that she is Master Wei's white moonlight? He didn't even look at her just now. Maybe the previous black card was just for financial support. That's right, it's normal for rich people to give a black card, right? Why is she being so self-indulgent? It's so funny. The crowd started to discuss. Xia Mo felt a little embarrassed, and her eyes were immediately filled with tears. She looked like she was about to fall, which made people feel pity. At this time, a fat girl finally couldn't help but rush out of the crowd. He protected Xia Mo behind him and glared at everyone angrily. Senior Wei Hong, is it fun to bully people like this? The fat girl angrily accused. Didn't you see that Momo was crying? Wei Hong was very unhappy to be interrupted. He raised his eyelids and glanced at the other party lazily, and then said indifferently, Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am. The point is that even if you have money, you can't bully people, right? The fat girl said indignantly, Momo is such a simple, kind and cute little fairy, she should be held in the palm of her hand and pampered. How can you treat her like this? That's right, the little fairy is crying, so distressed. Woo woo woo, Senior Wei is really a piece of shit. Who said it wasn't? I definitely wouldn't let a beautiful woman cry. Many licking dog male classmates responded. Wei Hong suddenly had a headache. These crazy people were crazy. The mother-in-law is so idle. I am just talking about something here. I didn't provoke anyone, did I? Why did you pull him to play the role of a domineering CEO for no reason? Everyone, it is very rude to interrupt other people's conversations at will. Wei Hong knocked on the table, looked around and said coldly, I only came to talk to Song Gui today, and I didn't pay attention to anyone from beginning to end. Don't be so inexplicable and self-indulgent. For a moment, everyone was a little speechless. The fat girl snorted coldly, still thinking to herself, don't you just like Momo, but you threatened to stop funding because you can't get her to be your girlfriend? Now she is in front of you, and she deliberately plays the game of playing hard to get. You rich second generations are really disgusting. Momo, let's go, don't pay attention to this scumbag, he just wants to play cold violence, you must hold on, don't let the scumbag succeed. After that, she pulled Xia Mo and turned away. Only Wei Hong was left in the wind. What the hell is going on? With such a strong imagination, why don't you become a screenwriter? Idiot. Wei Hong rubbed his eyebrows and turned to continue the conversation. Don't argue with a mental patient. Which hospital is your mother in? There are no classes in the afternoon. Let's go there together. People's Hospital. Song Gui said awkwardly, if you don't have time, you don't have to go. There are too many people in the hospital. It's not suitable for a young man like you. What young man? Just call me by my name, or Brother Wei. Wei Hong shook his head and said indifferently, I have to go and find out the specifics of your mother's condition in person, so that I can use my connections to invite the most authoritative experts to treat her. Song Gui opened his mouth and was about to refuse. Wei Hong raised his hand to stop him and said, investment must be well controlled. If the specific details are not clear, it is very likely that the final investment income will fall short. Do you understand? If I do my best to find an authoritative expert to treat your mother, even if it doesn't work in the end, you still owe me a big favor. But if I only give money, this favor will be very insignificant. If you become rich in the future, and you want to erase this favor by just paying a little money, won't I lose a lot? Song Gui's face was complicated. I don't know whether to sigh that he is too smart or to be moved. After a long time, he nodded heavily and said sincerely, Brother Wei, don't worry, this is a favor, not a favor. I will remember your kindness for the rest of my life. That's right. Wei Hong patted his shoulder and reminded him, I am a businessman and will not do business at a loss. Just spend money to change yourself. Sisterly, notify Uncle Dong to rent an apartment near the school, and then ask a few light luxury brands to send some clothes over. In addition, let the hospital transfer Mother Song to a single ward first, and then do a detailed examination. The specific transfer will be decided after I go there. The female bodyguard nodded in agreement and quickly took out her mobile phone to contact Uncle Gong. Song Gue was stunned for a while, and couldn't help but said weakly, Don't be so exaggerated, right? Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the evening, Jiangzhou First People's Hospital. In the VIP single ward on the top floor, the dean and the director gathered together. A series of full-body examinations have been completed for the middle-aged woman on the bed. Mr. Wei, the patient's condition is not optimistic. She has been malnourished for a long time and has severe anemia. Her heart and lung functions are moderately damaged, and her kidney function is also very poor. In addition, there is a 1 centimeter mass in the stomach. It has been confirmed that it is an early malignant tumor. Surgery is required as soon as possible. Dean Wang handed over a stack of examination reports. Wei Hong took it and glanced at it. He nodded with satisfaction and said, Let's do conservative treatment first. I will arrange for the top surgical experts in Yanjing to come for consultation soon. You don't need to worry about the rest. Just take good care of the person. Understood. Dean Wang nodded and agreed. Song Gue on the side couldn't help but feel a little dazed. It took only a few hours from the time Wei Hong appeared to the time he arranged everything, but his mother has already moved into the most luxurious single ward, enjoying the care of 2 beautiful nurses, and all kinds of examinations have been green-lighted. Is this the world of the rich? If ordinary people hear about gastric cancer, they will probably feel that the sky is about to fall, right? But for Wei Hong, it is just a matter of making a few phone calls. As long as you are willing to spend money, there will naturally be a top team of experts to come for consultation and treatment. From surgery to later treatment, you don't have to worry about anything. Even if it is cancer, the chance of cure is many times higher than that of ordinary people. President Wang, find 2 more special female nurses to serve Aunt Ju 24 hours a day. Wei Hong glanced at her and continued to exhort, make sure she lives a more comfortable life. Okay. Principal Wang just agreed. The middle-aged woman on the bed couldn't help but weakly raised her hand. Mr. Wei, don't bother so much, I can just stay in the ordinary ward and take care of myself. Auntie, don't worry. Wei Hong chuckled and comforted. Song Gui's academic performance is very good. He will definitely be a good seedling of Peking University and Tsinghua University in the future. No matter how much money he spent, he will be able to pay it back in the future. Yes, Mom, you just rest assured to recuperate. Song Gue said with a firm face, I will try my best to make you live a good life. The middle-aged woman was still uneasy. Wei Hong didn't say much, just patted Song Gue on the shoulder and turned away. Several bodyguards protected him closely in front and behind, and such a big battle attracted many people's attention. Just after passing the payment hall, a voice attracted his attention. Doctor, please save my mother, she can't be in trouble. Please save her. Xia Mo pleaded pitifully to a middle-aged doctor. Standing aside was the fat girl who had met in the cafeteria in the afternoon, and Xia's bald and greasy father. It's her again. Wei Hong frowned secretly. Why is this woman haunting me? I can see her everywhere. Miss Xia, it's not that I don't want to save people, but your mother's condition is not optimistic. The middle-aged doctor said seriously, her indicators in all aspects are deteriorating, and the intracranial tumor also has a tendency to continue to compress the nerves, causing the patient to fall into a coma frequently. If she continues to follow the previous control standards, she may be able to live a few more years, but if she continues like this, her life will be threatened within 3 months. You shouldn't stop the medication without authorization. The imported special medicine that the patient took before has been well controlled. It is not wise to stop the medication now. Xia Mo's face was full of sorrow, and she said painfully, Doctor, what if conservative treatment is used? How about using domestic drugs? The effect is not good. Domestic drugs have been used too much before, and drug resistance has long been formed. The middle-aged doctor pushed his glasses and explained patiently, the patient's intracranial tumor is not suitable for surgery, and can only be suppressed with drugs. But every drug will have drug resistance. Once taken too much, it will lose its effect, so we must continue to buy new foreign special drugs. Recently, there are several good targeted drugs in Europe. If you have sufficient funds, you can buy them and try them. Apart from this, we doctors have no better way. After speaking, the middle-aged doctor turned and left. Xia Mo was lost and fell to the ground, covering her face and crying. Xia's father was furious and cursed viciously, Dead girl, it's all your fault for offending Wei Xiao. Now that he has stopped funding, do you want to kill your own mother? Xia Mo's eyes were full of grievances and helplessness. She never thought that everything was fine. How could such a drastic change happen in just a few days? Wei Hong, who once loved her warmly, no longer dotes on her, and all the resources he gave her are taken back. Her mother's illness is getting worse, and all these things are almost overwhelming her. Dad, I don't know why this happened. Xia Mo was still crying, and couldn't say a complete sentence for a long time. Words. Cry, 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 you only know how to cry. Are you crying for a funeral? Father Xia cursed, poking his finger at his forehead, you angered young Master Wei and you don't know how to apologize. Brainless thing. I won't go. Xia Mo reacted violently, covering her face and stiffening her neck and said, why should I take the initiative to make peace? It was obviously him who did the wrong thing. Can you do whatever you want just because you have money? Idiot. Father Xia was emotional and furious. What will happen to your mother if you don't apologize? What about our family's foreign debt? What about your brother's tuition and living expenses? Are you going to watch everyone die? I don't care what method you use, you must ask for young Master Wei's forgiveness, otherwise I will not have you as my daughter. Hearing this, Xia Mo cried even harder. The fat girl squatted down and hugged her, comforting her softly. It's okay, Momo, we can go online for help, or ask the school to organize donations. It's useless, woo woo woo. Xia Mo cried, it costs 70,000 to 80,000 yuan a month to import targeted drugs from abroad, plus other expenses, how can we survive with donations alone? The people around sighed when they saw this. Wei Hong was about to leave after watching the show, but Xia Mo happened to look over at this time. A trace of surprise and excitement flashed in her desperate eyes. The next moment, she stood up quickly and blocked Wei Hong and his group. Before the bodyguards could pull them away, she was already crying and complaining, you are here to make fun of me, right? Well, you win. Are you sick? Wei Hong frowned impatiently, you care about passing by. Can you get out of the way? What do you want? Xia Mo's face was full of brokenness and sadness. Do you rich people like to play with people's hearts so much? I admit defeat, I am willing to be your girlfriend. Okay, can you restore the card? Oh my god, what is this? Good guy, it's not a rich young man playing with the feelings of a little girl, right? I think it's almost certain. This man has so many bodyguards, and he is not an ordinary person at first glance. Poor girl, it seems that her mother is sick and she is forced to be a girlfriend. People around pointed and criticized. Wei Hong's face suddenly darkened, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At noon in the cafeteria, Wei Hong has experienced Xia Mo's ability to make up for his mistakes once. This crazy woman made him so angry, but he couldn't defend himself. Now she rushed out and talked nonsense again. With just a few simple words, she attracted everyone's attention. She was trying to put him on the spot. Xia classmate, I don't think I ever said I wanted to be your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Wei Hong frowned in disgust, don't be so self-indulgent and just touch me, okay? Senior, how long are you going to torture me? Mo seemed to not understand what people were saying, and continued to cry sadly, "You promised to support me to study and pay for my mother's medical expenses. Now you stop supporting me when you are unhappy. Are you going to force me to death? Senior Wei." The fat girl also rushed out, indignantly saying, "Everyone knows that you have been supporting Momo all the time, and now you suddenly stop it. Not only is it a problem for her to eat, but her mother's medical expenses are also a headache. Are you going to let people live?" Wei Hong laughed in anger. Facing the crowd's gazes, he directly responded coldly, "Since you know that I have been supporting her, you should know that the money is mine." "What? Now you are helping someone wrong, right? Others don't want to support you, but you are going to snatch it from their pockets?" The fat girl was a little speechless, but still said stubbornly, "You stopped supporting her just to force Momo to become your girlfriend? This kind of dirty mind is known to everyone, bah. Do you two want to take a piss and look at yourselves?" Wei Hong scratched his ears and sneered impatiently, "One looks like a pig, and the other looks plain and has no breasts or buttocks. You look sad every day, which makes people feel disgusted. People like me can sleep with big stars with just a flick of my finger. Every day at school, my desk is filled with love letters. Do I need to play tricks for her? Do you have any shame?" Fat girl. Mo also looked up in shock, with a look of astonishment on her face. Bursts of laughter suddenly rang out around them, and everyone inexplicably felt that this made sense. This guy is obviously a rich second generation. With so many bodyguards protecting him, how could he be short of women? I know him. He is the school idol of Shinrui High School. I don't know how many girls like him. He is even more handsome than idols. Are you being sentimental, little girl? He may not be interested in her." Everyone was talking at once. Mo blushed with shame. Father Xia hurried over to smooth things over, nodding and smiling apologetically, "Young Master Wei, you are a magnanimous person, don't bother with this little girl. She is just talking nonsense because of her mother's illness. Don't mind it. I don't want to bother with a lunatic." Wei Hong narrowed his eyes and warned coldly, "But please don't come to me again, or I don't mind making you pay the price." "No, no, no." Father Xia hurriedly stepped forward to pull, but was directly separated by the bodyguards. He could only jump anxiously and said, "Young Master Wei, don't be angry, talk it over. Did this girl irritate you? I will deal with her when I go back, and I guarantee that she will be obedient. From now on, she won't dare to go west when you say east. Get lost." Wei Hong was too lazy to talk nonsense with these people. With the bodyguards leading the way, he was ready to leave. However, Father Xia was unwilling to let the god of wealth leave. He followed him and begged, "Mr. Wei, please help me. My wife is in a very bad condition. She is dying. Please be kind and save her. Save her, or save yourself." Wei Hong sneered, "Your family has been living so comfortably with my support over the years, and you have owed countless gambling debts. Are you planning to ask me to support you for the rest of your life? No, Mr. Wei, please help me." Father Xia anxiously chased him to the elevator. When the elevator door closed, Wei Hong immediately said to the bodyguard beside him with a cold face, "Find someone to get the school cafeteria and the surveillance footage just now." Understood. A bodyguard in a suit agreed. Wei Hong then began to close his eyes and rest. Mo disgusted him again and again. This matter could not be let go, it was unbearable and there was no need to endure it anymore. The purpose of getting the video was to prevent others from taking it out of context and posting it on the internet to slander his reputation. Secondly, it was also to disgust her. In the previous life, Mo entered the entertainment industry after college. In order to cooperate with Wei Xing to do something bad to him, he also used this method of turning black into white, relying on a few ambiguous words. She can easily encourage netizens to expose him online. After rebirth, Wei Hong will not suffer any loss again. Moreover, he wants to apply what he has learned and take the initiative to let her experience the consequences of online exposure. That night, a detailed form of Wei Hong's funding for Mo And a short video of the conflict between the cafeteria and the hospital was posted on the school forum. Shocked, dream girl is narcissistic, and actually tried to scam the sponsor. Once this post was published, the whole school was shocked. The post detailed the expenses Wei Hong had given to Xia Mo's family over the past few years, including various daily consumption details, as well as gambling money, medical expenses, luxury goods, etc. Finally, Wei Hong directly named the name. Wei Group is not a sucker for charity. I will recover the funds that were misappropriated due to poor supervision in the past from Xia Mo. At the same time, I have no feelings for Xia Mo. Please don't be sentimental and scam her, and don't spread rumors, otherwise I will take legal measures to protect my legitimate rights and interests. Once the post was published, coupled with 2 video clips, it immediately washed away the inexplicable dirty water on Wei Hong, and also pushed Xia Mo to the forefront. Fuck, this is too explosive, isn't it? I'm Xia Mo's classmate. She brags every day that she is Senior Wei's white moonlight and that they have a close relationship. It turns out that it's all fake. Oh my god, how can this person be so shameless? People kindly sponsored her, but she actually used the black card to eat, drink and have fun recklessly. Is she so presumptuous because Senior Wei doesn't care about money? Bah, she is worthy of coveting Senior Wei. Sisters, who is free, let's team up tomorrow to teach her a lesson. And the fat girl next to her, named Lu Hui, can't let her go either. In the forum, all the girls in the school were boiling. Wei Hong is the dream man of countless girls, and someone dared to touch him. Xia Mo and the fat girl have aroused public anger. Soon, their addresses, phone numbers, WeChat and QQ were all exposed. All kinds of harassment and insults followed. In just 10 minutes, Xia Mo couldn't bear it anymore and called. As soon as the phone was connected, she whimpered and complained, "Senior Wei, how could you post those things on Chiba? You are too much, woo-woo." Before she finished speaking, Wei Hong had already blocked the person, then several strange numbers called one after another. He still blocked all of them with an expressionless face, and remained indifferent no matter how crazy and begged the other party. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, early in the morning, Xia Mo appeared in class 6 of grade 2 with a haggard face. All the classmates looked at her with a strange look. She shrank back in fear and felt uneasy. Soon, she found that her seat had been moved to the back of the classroom. Not only were all the books and test papers torn into pieces, but there were also a lot of smelly garbage piled on the desk. This scene made her face flushed with anger, and her eyes began to shed tears again. "Oh, our dream girl is still embarrassed to cry. Who gave you the face? Hee, I don't like you for a long time. You pretend to be rich every day, but you still spend men's money. Damn, you spread rumors everywhere that Senior Wei likes you, and you are still a white moonlight. You are almost an ungrateful wolf. Little bitch, just wait for me, you will never have a good life from now on." That the girls in the class sneered and cursed indignantly. Xia Mo cried pitifully, but the girls didn't care. The boys in the class felt sorry for her, but many of the girls came from wealthy families. They didn't dare to offend the public, so they could only pretend not to see it. In class, the teachers still turned a blind eye to bullying. They taught the whole class by themselves, and didn't dare to care about the tricks of the rich second generation to tease the poor students. Even if someone pulled Xia Mo's hair or kicked her stool in class, the teachers just pretended to be blind. As soon as the get out of class was over, Xia Mo and the fat girl Lu Hui were taken to the girls' bathroom. A dozen little girls took turns slapping them. Various insulting bullying methods took turns to toss them to collapse and scream. "How could you do this? I'm going to tell the teacher." Lu Hui shouted in horror. "Tell the teacher. Go ahead, see if the teacher dares to intervene. You bitch, you are so shameless that you dare to touch Senior Wei. As long as we are here, you two will never have a good life. If we don't expel you two from school, we will write our names upside down. Don't talk nonsense, sisters, rinse their mouths." A dozen little girls pulled their hair in various ways. Amid Xia Mo and Lu Hui's screams, they pressed their heads directly into the toilet. Xia Mo, who was once praised by the boys in the class as the only pure white jasmine. At this moment, she was in a mess and smelled bad, and she no longer looked pure as before. She cried, and the grievances in her heart were flooding like a tide. In the corridor, Wei Hong happened to pass by. He just heard Xia Mo's scream, but not only did he not go in to stop her, but he stood there and listened for a while. All this was what he wanted to see, and it was what Xia Mo should bear, a poor student who likes to pretend to be innocent and weak. It is easy to be targeted by other girls in Xingrui High School. In the past, it was Wei Hong who protected her, so Xia Mo could rely on others' power to thrive in this aristocratic private high school. Now that the protection is gone, she has only restored the treatment she should have received. Those who change their minds in the morning and in the evening deserve it. Wei Hong sneered and was about to leave, but he caught a glimpse of Wei Xing's figure. He was in the left corridor upstairs, looking at the women's restroom. Obviously, he was also secretly paying attention to Xia Mo's situation. "Host, are you not going to save her?" Xia Mo was bullied and her luck was falling quickly, which is a loss for us. Why save her? When she falls into the quagmire, she will be more popular and absorb her luck faster, right? Host, you are so treacherous. Thank you, Wei Sheng and a mechanical voice had a conversation. It was clearly heard from a distance of more than 10 meters. Wei Hong's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise, and he left here without making a sound. A few minutes later, he returned to the competition classroom, and the corners of his mouth slowly raised a little arc, revealing a hint of interest. When he existed as a spirit in the previous life, Wei Hong could see the luck of everyone, and at the same time he also glimpsed the real secret of Wei Xing. He could not only send his voice to others, but also absorb the luck of people around him. But Wei Hong still couldn't figure out how he did it. Now it seems that he just bound a system. Everything is the ability given by the mysterious system. Preliminary judgment: this system is not particularly powerful. It only has the useless function of sending voices to people, and absorbing other people's luck is also conditional. Wei Hong recalled the conversation he just heard. He quickly extracted 2 key points from it. First, the more serious events a person encounters, such as bullying or failure, the more his luck will drop. Second, the higher a person's favorability towards Wei Sheng, the faster the system absorbs his luck. Quick, figure this out. Wei Hong finally understood why the Wei family and everyone around Wei Sheng in his previous life ended up with their families destroyed. It turned out that this bastard was a blood-sucking worm. He sucked the luck of people around him to strengthen himself. Everyone who was close to him was unlucky and miserable. It was ridiculous to think about it. But what is the specific use of luck? Wei Hong recalled that in his previous life, after Wei Xing absorbed enough luck, everything he did went smoothly. He could pick up money while walking, and he could win the jackpot by buying a lottery ticket. He made money by gambling on stones, antiques, and stocks. He was almost worshipped as a god by the people around him. This must be the power of luck, right? So is there any way to stop him from absorbing luck? It seems that there is really a way. As long as he suppresses the luck of someone before he can fill up his favorability, won't he be able to absorb any luck? For example, Xia Mo. She could only live a good life relying on Wei Hong, and her luck naturally plummeted after being targeted. Wei Xing might want to wait until she falls into the quagmire before saving her and absorbing the remaining luck from her. As long as Wei Hong intercepts the other party's opportunities again and again, and then suppresses Xia Mo with stronger means, he can't absorb any luck. Even, he can directly attack Wei Xing, whether it is a dirty trick or a trap. As long as it causes harm and attack to him, it will always affect his luck. Wei Xing can't easily become the son of luck that everyone pursued in his previous life. Thinking of this, Wei Hong decisively took out his mobile phone and dialed Uncle Gong's number. "Master, you are looking for me." Su Maogong's vicissitudes of life came from the receiver. "Uncle Gong, do you know anyone in the underground casino?" "Of course. Find some people." Wei Hong said concisely, "There is a guy named Xia Dongfeng in the village in the city. Find a way to make him owe a lot of debts, the more the better. This guy is a gambler. You know what to do. Also find some professional private detectives to keep a close eye on everyone in the Wei family, especially Wei Xing's every move.
It doesn't matter how much money is spent. We must find out what they do and where they go every day. Understood. Su Maogong didn't ask him what he wanted to do, and agreed without thinking. Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. September 21 St. Wei Group Headquarters, in the President's office. Wei Linlang stared at the stock market chart on the computer, her face so gloomy that water could almost drip out. What's going on? We have already bought the bottom, and the stock price should have skyrocketed soon. Why has the stock price of Tingxing Group continued to fall in the past few days? How do you do things? What about the investment department and the financial department? Have you produced a feasibility analysis report? Wei Linlang kept slapping the table to vent his anger. The female secretary was trembling with fear after being scolded, and quickly handed over 2 reports to explain. President, in just 2 days, we invested 700 to 800 million yuan, and a total of 13.7% of Tingxing shares were pocketed. Now we are the second largest shareholder of Tingxing. Ms. Lu Xilai has just passed the board resolution and successfully served as the new chairman of Tingxing Group. At the same time, several appeasement policies were also issued, but unfortunately the effect of stimulating the market is very weak. Now there are rumors that Tingxing Group has evaded taxes, falsified accounts, and substandard drug quality. Although the news has not been confirmed, shareholders are panicking, and many small shareholders are even less confident. An explanation. Wei Linlang finally understood what was going on. She sat dejectedly in the boss chair, her face full of depression and frustration. So this Tingxing Group is a mess. No wonder the former chairman Li Teng wanted to jump off the building. This guy must have caused a lot of trouble, just waiting for the thunder. Wei Group did not do a good job of background check in the early stage, rashly signed the investment agreement, and took the initiative to buy at the bottom during the thunderstorm. Now it is getting deeper and deeper. Now a total of 1.7 billion or 1.8 billion has been invested. Although this money is not much, it is extremely difficult to get it back. The investment department has given 2 suggestions. The female secretary said carefully, first, increase the amount of bottom fishing again and reconvene the board of directors. After becoming the largest shareholder, we will completely merge Tingxing Pharmaceutical into our group, and then carry out a long-term asset sorting and reorganization. Second, cut off the tail to survive. Drive up the stock price and take the opportunity to get out, let retail investors take over, and minimize the loss. Wei Linlang fell silent after hearing this. Neither of these 2 is a good choice. Even if she is a fool, she knows the basic process. Once the first one is chosen, Wei Group will enter the unfamiliar pharmaceutical industry. In the future, the mines buried by Tingxing Pharmaceutical may explode in its hands. Even if there is no thunderstorm, asset restructuring will have to invest a lot of time, energy, manpower and material resources. This is a very costly thing. Investors hate to have their stocks smashed. Wei Linlang would not choose the first option even if she was stupid. The second option was quite good. On the surface, she only needed to drive up the stock price so that retail investors could take over and quietly withdraw, but in reality, it would also cause heavy losses. After all, people were in a panic. Once someone drove up the stock price, a large number of small shareholders would frantically sell their stocks. It is very likely that Wei Linlang did not escape, but became the largest shareholder of Tingxing Pharmaceuticals. At that time, she would be the biggest buyer. Of course, she could also leave it alone. She has been the second largest shareholder of Tingxing Group, waiting for the stock price to return to its peak, but what if Tingxing Group had a big problem and was delisted? Wouldn't 1.7 billion or 8 billion be completely wasted by then? Ding-ling-ling, that the phone suddenly rang at this time. Wei Linlang glanced at it and couldn't help but look ugly, because this was a call from Wei Jiaoyang. Needless to say, he was definitely going to come and ask for punishment. Dad, the phone was just connected. As expected, Wei Jiaoyang's irritable voice came from the receiver. Dad, what's the dad? Look at the big mess you have made. You have never made such a low-level mistake before. Can't you do the most basic background check? Dad, listen to my explanation. This is an accident. Wei Linlang hurriedly explained. Accident. Wei Jiaoyang said angrily, the annual profit of Wei's group is about 14%. Your loss of 1.7 billion or 1.8 billion means that you have lost a quarter of the group's annual profit. Think about how to explain it to the shareholders. Wei Linlang was sweating profusely, but still gritted his teeth and said, I will find a way to remedy it. Please give me some time. At most, I will make the accounts look better at that time. No need. Wei Jiaoyang said coldly, you should raise the stock price immediately and ship out in batches. I have accurate information that Tingshan Group may be delisted. Withdraw as much funds as you can, and don't leave all of them in your hands. Understood. Wei Linlang agreed with cold sweat. After the call was hung up, she was unable to come back to her senses for a long time. Wei Jiaoyang had already made a choice for her, this loss was certain, it was just a matter of how much. Think about the investment genius that she had worked hard for several years to build. Image, it collapsed overnight, and she couldn't help wanting to vomit blood. Could it be that without Wei Hong doing project evaluation for her, she really couldn't do it? No, it's just a small loss, purely accidental. Sooner or later I will make achievements to prove myself. Wei Linlang murmured stubbornly to Vienna Hotel. In the private room on the top floor. Lu Shilai, the new chairman of Tingshan Group, a middle-aged beauty with a charming temperament, was holding a red wine glass and drinking with a middle-aged elegant man with a strong aura. She didn't feel sad at all for having just lost her husband. Nor was she panicked by the continued plunge in the group stock price. She had a sweet smile on her face, and she looked like she was living a life of luxury. Fourth Master, do you think we can trick the Wei Group this time? Lu Shilai shook her red wine glass and chuckled, if I can't trick them, I will be in trouble. Don't worry. The elegant middle-aged man crossed his legs and shook his head disdainfully. If the founder of the Wei Group, Mr. Wei, was still alive, I would naturally not dare to set a trap for them casually, but now they are just an empty shell, and the truth will be revealed after a try. As long as we can make the Wei Group suffer a loss this time, our entry into Jiangzhou City will become much smoother, and it will not be in vain for Li Teng, this waste, to pave the way for us with his own life. A trace of disgust flashed in Lu Shilai's eyes. She and Li Teng have been married for more than 10 years, and the other party has cheated, promiscuous, and domestic violence. The two quarreled and had no feelings for each other. In the hands of the real superior, the life of a chairman of a multi-billion-dollar group is only worthy of being sacrificed like a chess piece. It's ridiculous to think about it. The news has been released. With Wei Jiaoyang's cautious character, he will definitely choose to cut his flesh and bleed. Lu Shilai reported softly. However, during the process of setting up the game, we found that a group of people were also buying at the bottom. They acted secretly and cautiously, and only took about 300 million shares. In the end, it seems that they are Su Maogong's people. Is it him? It's interesting, but 300 million is not a lot, let him do it. The middle-aged elegant man played with her jade hand and casually reminded, watch the stock market these days. Once the Wei Group cuts flesh and bleeds and leaves the market, you immediately release the news that the new drug has been successfully developed. I will severely humiliate Wei Jiaoyang. Understood. Lu Shilai put down the red wine glass with a delicate smile. She sat on the man and the two began to entangle in an ambiguous way.